Today we're going to be making a scatter plot. Before you start, you'll need graph paper, a pencil, and a ruler. First, you need to draw two perpendicular lines. Start by drawing the x-axis at the bottom of the page. Then draw the y-axis on the left-hand side of the page. In this example, we are assuming that unemployment rate is the independent variable, so that is going to be on the x-axis. The student-teacher ratio is what we believe to be the dependent variable, so it is going to be on the y-axis. Now label your axes. Now look at the range of your data, and starting at 0 where the axes cross on the lower left-hand corner, label each axis such that the values go at least as high as the highest value in your data set. Starting with our independent variable on the x-axis, I can see that the highest unemployment rate we have is 11.8%. So we're going to label that axis up to 12. Now let's label our vertical axis, which in this case is student-teacher ratio. Scanning our data, I can see that the highest ratio is 23.5, so I'm going to label my y-axis from 0 to 24. Now we're ready to plot points on our scatter plot. In this example, we're using state-level data, so the unemployment rate and student-teacher ratio from each state is going to be its own ordered pair and consequently its own point in the scatter plot. Starting with Alaska, we see that its unemployment rate is 7.5%, and it has an average student-teacher ratio of 15.8. We run our finger along the x-axis until we find 7.5%, then go up until we're level with 15.8 on the y-axis. Make a dot there. Let's plot a second point. Our next state is Arizona, with an unemployment rate of 8.2% and a student-teacher ratio of 18.4. Find 8.2% on the x-axis, then run your finger up until it's level with 18.4 on the y-axis and make another dot. Continue doing this for all the ordered pairs in your data set. For California, it has an unemployment rate of 10.2%, and a student-teacher ratio of 18.7. Hawaii has an unemployment rate of 5.7 and a student-teacher ratio of 15.9. Idaho has an unemployment rate of 7.1% and a student-teacher ratio of 18.3. Nevada has an unemployment rate of 11.8% and a student-teacher ratio of 19. Oregon has an unemployment rate of 8.7% and a student-teacher ratio of 19.4. Utah has an unemployment rate of 5.4% and a student-teacher ratio of 23.5. Finally, Washington State has an unemployment rate of 8.5% and a student-teacher ratio of 19.2. Once you've reached the end of all the numbers in your data set, make sure you label the top of your graph. In this case, we're going to label our scatter plot, unemployment rate versus student-teacher ratio. And we're done. There's your scatter plot.